Back home, 9 of the country's best young financial minds will be competing for the crown of national champion. The Financial Literacy Speech Competition National Final is taking place in Cape Town today. It's an initiative between the Financial Sector Conduct Authority as well as the Financial Planning Institute and the 9 provincial education departments. Thousands of grade 11 pupils from 300 non-fee paying schools took part in the competition. Now it's time to top it down to the top 9. But to tell us more about the competition, we are joined by Lyndwill Clarke. He's the head of consumer education at the FSCA. Mr. Clarke, thank you so much for joining us on Point. I understand that the competition has just concluded. Before I even ask you about the aim of the competition, can you take us through about who won the competition this year and how they were chosen?
Yes, thanks very much. Thank you. And thank you for having us. I'm still on a high at the moment. It was such a tough competition this year. In third place, we had Wanda Tsuma from Uzazo High School in the Western Cape. In second place, we had Nolita Mabane from Moreko Secondary in Limpopo. And the winner was Kiasobaka Mamahoba from Matswedi High School in the Northwest. And it was such an exciting event because these learners were literally separated by points, but the speeches they delivered were of such a high quality, showed such great research and content, rich content, which some of the judges and adjudicators actually said, look, these were some of these things that they don't know, and most of the judges come from the financial sector.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited and I'm quite chuffed that we came this far. After they went through various rounds from school to district to provincial and then obviously now to a national level.
Yeah, it's exciting that, you know, we can shape young minds at this very early age. But I'm wondering about, and also very quite curious about, what the judges were looking for in those speech. What was contained in those speech that you can share with us, particularly of the winner, that when you look at it and you're thinking, this young mind is going far?
Yes, so indeed what judges were looking for is, can you take whatever you researched on this topic and then put it into a format that shows that you understand what you're talking about? Because in the past, what we found was that learners actually just went out, did the research and gave us back what they did, what they researched. So now what Kiasobaka did was she actually put together her speech in such a way that she showed practical examples, she showed a little bit of theoretical knowledge, and what we can actually do, some solutions for the country in terms of what we can do with our finances and when we do financial management.
We always talk about... Yes, sorry to disturb you.
Yeah, go ahead.
We always talk about financial literacy and how we need to start it at a younger age. Obviously, a little younger than when you're in grade 11. When you're in grade 11, you're what, 17 years old. But take us through what the point of the competition is. What is it that you're trying, what point are you trying to drive in these young people and the kind of decisions that they would ultimately make for themselves as they grow older and learn to handle finances and money?
Yeah, so the first point obviously is this financial literacy. What do I need to manage my personal finances in such a way that I can be included in the economy, I can be included with whatever kind of production is going on within the country. The second point is we would like to show learners that there are viable options within the financial sector. You know, when I was at school, becoming an insurance broker or financial planner was never an option.
Yeah.
Now within the financial sector, our 2016 winner was appointed by one of the important biggest insurance firms in the country, and he runs his own financial literacy show on YouTube at the moment. So you'll see that the learners now get exposure to all these kinds of opportunities from a financial point of view, what it is that I need to know when I get into contact with the financial services provider, what are the right questions I need to ask. But more importantly for me, I think, is how do I operate within this economy? How do me as a learner that just leaves school, what do I do to be active and included in the economy and then get ahead? By getting ahead, is how do I create wealth for myself?
Yes,
and for my family, and then take everybody along. Because remember, it's not just the learner. We're talking about the teacher, the school, as well as the community, and of course their families that also take part in this competition, because they practice on their teachers, they practice
sure.
on their family, and they let them know what it is that they are going to say at the competition.
You did catch my attention when you talked about that the 2016 winner did go on to start their own business of financial literacy. I hope that this competition does seek to create much more entrepreneurial minds, because in this economy, of course, you may have all the financial literacy, but sometimes if you don't even have an income from a job or any other business, for all I care, you know, that financial literacy will maybe just sitting dormant. What kind of tools are you giving them about how to create their own businesses going forward?
Yeah, so definitely one of the topics is on entrepreneurship. You know, starting a business, is it worth it or is it not? And I think that the moment you start researching that topic to find out, is it worth it for me to go into business, or do I have to be a salaried worker all my life? So part of what the incentives that we also provide, first of all, there's a 30,000 Rand, 30,000, 15 and 7,500 Rand prize, investment prize for the winners in the provinces, and then when they get to the national, the same amount. But more importantly, we also, the 3 top winners gets a bursary to go and study at an institution or a tertiary institution of their choice in South Africa. And I think by providing them with that kind of incentives, we actually encouraging them to get into the financial sector, first of all, but then secondly, if they don't want to be in there are other avenues like going into starting a business, getting into commerce, because remember, these are learners that come from quintiles 1 and 2 and 3, as you said, no fee schools, but they are learners that are also doing commercial subjects at the schools. And the opportunities that we get here, I tell you, it's just besides the academic, the entrepreneurial and the work opportunities. I'm talking about opening learners' horizons, bringing them to a venue where they would never have been able to come to. So it's a whole package that we actually want to provide to these learners, just to open their eyes to say, you don't have to stay where you are, not that
there are bigger
opportunities. A bad place.
Out there.
That's exactly the
point. Mr. Lyndwill Clarke, yes, thank you so much. This has been quite exciting and insightful indeed. Thank you so much for sharing it with our SABC viewers indeed. I've been joined by Mr. Lyndwill Clarke. He's the head of consumer education at the FSCA. He's been telling us about the competition that the FSCA, together with the Financial Planning Institute, have been running on financial literacy aimed at grade 11 students, and saying that it went well.